With air travel inching back from its collapse during the pandemic, Americans might be able to fly to Europe this summer. That is, if you're vaccinated. Exactly how this new era of pandemic travel will work is still up in the air, but there's one approach a lot of people are talking about.
Vaccine passports.
COVID passports.
Vaccine passports. A COVID passport.
These so-called vaccine passports or digital health pass systems aim to revive the tourism industry, allow people to attend concerts and events, and get back to the office. But creating a coordinated health pass system is so fraught with logistical and ethical conflicts that it could take years to pull off. Startups, nonprofits, and governments have already rolled out different kinds of digital health passes, from Israel's Green Pass to an app that allows access to holy sites in Mecca. But so far, there's no single pass that's used all across the world. So what would it take for digital health passes to get people back in the air again and out in the world?
This is really an unprecedented situation in, the modern global economy.
Julie Wernow reports on the impact of COVID-19 on business for the Wall Street Journal.
Really, the goal of these systems is to make people feel safe enough to resume normal everyday activities. Everything from eating inside at a restaurant or going to a concert venue or traveling.
The idea is to have an official digital record of your COVID history that when you travel, authorities can check and determine how likely it is that you're carrying the virus. The big challenge is making something that's accepted across borders and stays updated with other countries' COVID regulations. Several groups, including privacy advocates, businesses, and healthcare providers, have proposed solutions. One of those stakeholders is Dakota Gruner. She is leading a coalition of over 150 partners, including all the major health pass providers, to create a set of global standards to underpin digital health passes. She says there are a few main features every digital health pass should have. The first is something called interoperability, meaning it should work across different institutions and borders.
A person can be, tested or vaccinated wherever it is that they live, and get to an airport or get to, a border, and have that pass be, sort of seamlessly recognized and trusted.
Say you're traveling from New York to London. A successful app would tell you the latest guidelines for both cities and integrate your official COVID health records from each country. Airlines are trying out different options like Common Pass, Verify, and IATA Travel Pass. But most trials are limited to select routes, and passengers aren't required to use the pass. So it's hard to tell how it would work on a mass scale.
The reality is that so far, we're not really seeing this in a very mandatory way, very many places, because people don't even know how to mandate it, and they don't know what counts as proof or evidence that you've been vaccinated.
Also key to health passes, according to Gruner, are verifiable health records. These include things like vaccine certificates, as well as past COVID test results and past cases.
If you can have both proof of testing or proof of vaccination, that allows people sort of flexibility in sort of how they, if they can't be vaccinated, perhaps they can be tested.
In a digital health pass system, health records would need to be uploaded to the app and accessible to different authorities, like physicians or border agents for different uses. Experts say consumers should be in control of how much health data they share and with whom. For example, you might choose to share more health information with the doctor giving you your second vaccine dose and less data with the airline you're checking in with at the airport.
We think that this idea of selective disclosure is really important because it would allow me to share just the minimum information necessary.
When that information is shared, authorities need to know that they can trust it. That's where another key factor comes in, verifiable credentials.
And that is, literally sort of a packet of data that is verified. That you can say, this has been signed and sealed, and I sort of know that the packet of data has not been tampered with, and I know who it was who's attesting to this packet of data.
But in order for digital health passes to be embraced by both government and regular people, they need to address the ongoing debate over data privacy.
In America, privacy and health privacy has always been a huge hot button issue, and people are concerned about sharing even that amount of information and want to know that that record is safe.
Some groups have been advocating for centralizing health data since before COVID-19. But resistance to sharing this data has extended to the current pandemic. Several states, including Texas, have banned having to show proof of vaccination, including vaccine passports.
Government should not require any Texan to show proof of vaccination and reveal private health information just to go about their daily lives.
Cybersecurity experts in Israel's Public Health Union have raised concerns about sharing sensitive health data.
This is a messy ecosystem. There are a huge number of potential issuers of a health pass, testing centers, vaccinators, states, and also a huge number of potential verifiers. The airlines, border control agencies.
Workplaces and employers are also considering tracking health records. One Mercer survey found that almost 51% of companies are either currently tracking their employees' vaccination status or are considering it. While individual states are taking different approaches to regulating vaccine passports, Big Tech is laying out some guidelines for COVID-related apps too. Apple has said COVID-19 app developers need to work with recognized government or health authorities before submitting to Apple. And Google has a list of additional requirements for COVID-19 apps going into its Play Store. Still, because there are so many apps out there right now, the exact privacy policy could vary slightly from each app. What's more, some health officials contend that tech companies are overcomplicating the process. And this health information could be stored in a much simpler form, like in a QR code. And there are bigger questions about how these apps will be used together. Some apps like the IATA Travel Pass and Verifly are focused on the travel industry, while others like Israel's Green Pass or New York's Excelsior Pass are being used to grant people access to events or spaces.
The concern that essentially by asking people to prove that they've been vaccinated in order to do very, normal things like go to work or attend a concert, that we're creating a system in which there are two classes of people, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated.
Policy is as important as the technology, and we need policymakers to define the range of acceptable use cases, and specifically, sort of define what is not an acceptable use case for a health pass.
Exactly where that line is still being worked out. And finding that balance is going to be crucial for international travel, business, and public health.